Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the fourth and final game of the evening, map number 12 of this 4-day Stage 1 tournament before we break into Stage number 2 coming up on Friday, the PUBG European League Contenders Phase 3 promotion. My name is Esquire, joined here on the casting desk with me is going to be none other than Imperium. And Imperium, the fourth and final game, we've seen some big performances from two different teams today. Will we have another one from Powerful or Airwaves, or will another team step up and take the throne?
I'm sure there's every chance. Looking at this playing trajectory, at least Esquire, dead center from south to north. So much scope, so much room for these teams to really land, jump, get where they need to go, and of course, loot up wherever they need to. Some kind of interesting placement points on the leaderboard has changed between the start of the day and now. Of course, you know, the points difference is tight between the lower teams, but when we look at SEEKORG, Istanbul Wildcats, and Futbolist, who all played in phase 2 of Contenders, they dropped down from the top 8 to 9th, 11th, and 12th respectively. As I said, they're not far from the top 8 from a points point of view, but if they keep going the way they have in today's games, it's not going to spell good for them.
Why are you laughing, Imperium? What do you see there?
I see another military base finish.
Oh man,
I see all of these teams literally in the first couple of minutes are going to find vehicles and get as close to military base as they can. I'm a happy man. I'm a happy caster. This is a great end to the day. Viewers, rejoice because you are getting the entertainment you all deserve. I'm sure these teams are not a fan though, Esquire.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a difficult rotation from some of the teams, especially up here towards the north. Here in Severny, the Tarlans will have to make a far trek from north to south. And then one other team really strikes my mind when I saw where they dropped off of. I mean, this plane path, Imperium, was not a terrible plane path. I think most of the locations could have been easily obtained by the squads here. But Powerful, they shifted off of Lipovka. They shifted all the way over towards North Georgopol. And although it's still going to be a northern spot on the map, Lipovka not far off from the circle. North Georgopol, very, very much so far off from the circle. So we haven't seen these deadly rotations come out for Powerful. We'll see how they have to work against it here in the fourth game of the day.
But look at ToxicPlayers. They had Pichinki all on their own, and in any normal game, they loot up in Pichinki and go from there. But with this circle, they're getting in a vehicle and they're getting the hell out of there because they know they need to go to the circle. But RG has been knocked out by MJ-Esports Mini.
Tough loss right there. Hasn't necessarily translated into a loss just yet, but will be the first knock of the game. 60 players still alive. We'll see if the first blood does come out here shortly. YMCA going to be holding on to Primorsk. This is a place they know and love. Even those players, as long as I've known them over the last year and a half or so for that squad, they have always favored that Primorsk area. And it looks like at least Alphadon is going to be able to very, very dangerously pull up to his teammates to try to stick that res. MJ-Esports is on the prowl, trying to find the flush onto the fallen member of ToxicPlayers.
Talking about fallen members, we've seen our first frag of this game 3. Istanbul Wildcats taking out one member of Elgiganten. But no, I actually think that was a good res to pull out because the other two members of ToxicPlayers were in the distance and was able to communicate that on to their other two members. But once again, another knockdown. Istanbul Wildcats occupying outside that bridge into military base. Perfect opportunity.
It's what we were expecting. That crossroad position can be a deadly, deadly choke point to have to make your way across. And even this early in the game, I don't think Elgiganten expected it, but you have to in this level of competition. ToxicPlayers going to be pulling back towards the danger that at least started their game off a little bit shaky. Junu going to be laying there on the hillside, just waiting to see if they approach, which they won't be. Instead, across the fields of death they go, while the Istanbul Wildcats make that trek from Melta down south.
Oh boy, I'm still just so delighted with this circle on the last game of the day. It's going to be really tricky, of course, for sure. But Istanbul Wildcats, they're putting themselves in a decent position to try and move out. I also like the fact that you talked about YMCA. They highlighted they like to stick to Primorsk. This is actually a good place for them to be. They don't actually need to technically move in because they can just grab a boat like Four Kings have done, and they can just move in from the southwest side into the lower half of the military base. Of course, there's not a lot of compounds there, but it's still a safer place to enter military island compared to some of these teams.
Futbolist will be making that rotation now across the centralized areas of the map, passing by Razak School and the likes to make a possibly eastern rotation before they drop down south. SEEKORG going to be leaving that North Georgia Bowl spot as Airwaves going to be crossing paths with Enviik over here on the east or whether Western Highway. We expect these paths to really be crowded. That Western Highway from north to south tends to be that way when you have these very, very far polarized first phases.
Okay, so Airways, Mackin, he's got to be a bit careful because he could be getting a bit closer to a couple of members of Enviik, but spotting him out will be able to give him a chance to communicate with the rest of his team on where Enviik are on the map. We do see Elite, who have looked okay in a couple of games. Last game they got 5 kills, but making a couple of mistakes. They're going to look to redeem themselves in this last game of the day. Airways riding high on a 3rd game win. Let's see what they can do in this last game of the day.
Certainly, they're going to want to be closing it out in high fashion. Enviik able to finally load into that boat and depart. I believe all 4 members in the aquatic vehicle, and around the far southwestern bend they go. Going to be taking that blue zone damage. Again, minimal at this stage in the game, but it does wear you down a little bit as the bridge cross comes into effect for the members of ToxicPlayers. No one camping here on the western side.
That's good for them. There's always that risk, but the bridge that they've entered into military base from was always going to be the bridge that was going to be a lower chance of being occupied between these teams at where they did land. Futbolist also getting into a boat. 3D Max, Elite firing from the distance against each other. This is going to start getting very exciting very quickly, and this is what I love about this circle, Esquire.
Team Elite's going to be looking to hop out of the boat as fast as possible to try to get to the shoreline, to get the lines of sight onto the likes of 3D Max. 3D Max, though, they saw the boat. They're going to be taking a bit of a further south trek to avoid that commotion entirely. Now landing on the coast on the opposite side of Novo. Good call for 3D Max. That's where they needed to make landfall. With all 15 teams that started out the game still remaining, you can sense it's a little less chaotic of a game. Teams really trying to play this, not necessarily passively, but safely, I think might be the best word.
Well, because you've also got to think, because they exited where they were initially looting up earlier than usual, you've got to think of what resources have they managed to pick up? How kind of underlooted are they? Have they got the ammo they need? So therefore, we're not going to see these early game engagements compared to other games because they haven't been able to loot up, and they're only getting into a bit of a compound now compared to other games. So this is always going to affect and shift the way these teams do play this game.
Four Kings able to find a home here on Sosnovka Island, while YMCA begins to make that trek as well. They landed on the southern shore off of that Primorsk departure that they had made a few minutes ago. A safe land for them. That's usually where you see Primorsk teams like to at least favor. A few other teams heading in that direction. CRIPS will be trying to make landfall on the south. But this next shift, Imperium, not going to be easy. Channel will still be in play. A lot of water going to be taking up phase number 2.
Yeah, SEEKORG have a hard, have a tough, as do Powerful, as do Airwaves on the west side of this circle. But we do see Istanbul Wildcats, Levant, looking for Ojala from MJ-Esports, who actually entered military base on his own, believe it or not.
Able to do so on his own, but will he be able to reunite with his teammates? That's the all-important question here, as he has been spotted. Shots from far off. Going to be tagging them down and forcing them into Grandma's Shack here. And again, this is right off the location of where the Four Kings had made landfall on the northern side of Sosnovka. A few more wraps coming in here. Teams trying to vie for more favorable positions inside of what is going to be a very, very deadly mid game. It's not even going to take us into the late game as far as all of the battles that will be erupting. Istanbul Wildcats. This is an interesting area of the map to talk about, Imperium. It's so high up in the air, you can get the information, but it's so incredibly difficult to find the flushes on your knocks.
Exactly. But the good thing about getting the knockdowns, as I talked about, is that some of these teams are incredibly underlooted when it comes to bandages, when it comes to first aid kits. So getting the knockdown can essentially lead to a kill just a little bit quicker than maybe in a different situation. But ToxicPlayers, they're looking to find their spot on top of the hill. There's a lot of trees that they can look to prone behind. MJ-Esports, they've now come together as a 4-man team. That's really good by them to stay together, to find each other, and they will look to move on forward with 4 Kings very close by to them.
A minute and 38 seconds remain until the blue zone will reach the edges of phase number 1 or phase number 2 rather, and take us in to assuredly the mid game. Rotations coming out of Airwaves, trying to make still that very far aquatic rotation around the far southwestern bend of the circle. You can see Enviik still trying to make landfall on Sosnovka Island for their own, and this is going to be spotted out, which sends Airwaves on an even further transition. And the question kind of becomes, those boats sure do blow through gas, and do they have enough to make it to where they ultimately want to go?
That's a very good point you actually just highlighted. Yeah, gas. Did they manage to pick up a gas canister in one of the buildings? Will they be able to refuel themselves up? But powerful. They are outside military base. They are going to be able to move through without any real trouble for now. But Futbolist and Elite spotting each other out.
Shots from a distance between the two teams holding on to Novo as 3D Max starts to make the push onto the location atop the radio tower where the Istanbul Wildcats have been holding. Harry Potter is certainly going to be one of the positions that is normally held when teams try to combat the likes of teams up atop this hillside. But nades come down. We'll be pushing them off. The counter pressure being applied. Noki in the Overwatch position back towards Novo. We'll be able to find a few frags onto the members of the Wildcats.
So the good thing for 3D Max is that because they're split 2 and 2, as we saw from distance, they're able to get a couple of shots off on the Istanbul Wildcats. But the negative is that, they're only 2 men, so Istanbul Wildcats could actually flush them out from there. But this next circle shift, Stillwater, it's shifted up northwards. Could this be any more of a pain in the ass for these teams?
I mean, I don't really think it's here's the thing. It kind of is a pain in one regard, and it kind of isn't in another. It's not a pain because given the land ratio setting coming up here in circle number 4, you know for sure it's going down to the south. The circle has to shift. It doesn't have to shift entirely out of water, just as much as physically possible based off of ratios. Starting to see the kill feed light up, but the problematic area of this circle becomes where all of these teams know where it's going to go, and they all try to vie for those priority positions, which they're already occupied. So a lot of crashes will be happening into compounds. A lot of teams going to be going out very quick. As Powerful looks to hold on here, the 4 Kings on that eastern bridge going to be holding the other side.
Higgy is kind of on his own there behind that tree, just underneath the bridge compound. Ghostar and Norcus has no idea of where he is, and they are inside the circle. They don't have to worry about it for now. Tarlans are also actually behind them, so it could be a bit of a pinch. Moonlight is looking for him. Higgy has spotted out Makandar as Morpheus just gets knocked down by Maga.
More shots will rain down here on the coastal region of the northeastern part of Sosnovka Island. Spray comes out. Power trying to hold back. He's able to get 2. Moonlight goes down. Tarlans very much so on their back foot, but the grenades will rain down. Make no mistake about it. Will the pressure, though, be enough to keep Marcelik from finding the flushes? He's got grenades of his own and is going to be throwing them in that direction. Push coming out from Ermac. Doesn't find the shots, but still will be looking. That's going to be a few connections coming out now, as Maga, from a distance with the SLR headshot, takes down Marcelik.
But he does get knocked down from distance from Team Elite as they're looking to join in on the fun. All the while, 4 Kings have been able to survive. Ghost Star, as far as I know, along with Norcus. Well, Morpheus has actually kept going, in fairness, but they are definitely under a bit more pressure than they would like to be as CRIPS Esports. They are being spotted out by YMCA.
Norky is going to be going down here. CRIPS trying to climb up the hillside, but the 2-2 split of YMCA is being absolutely devastating for CRIPS's hopes and dreams here in the fourth and final game of the day. Trying to advance across this wide open area. The window of opportunity has been seized for YMCA, spotting out the CRIPS now on the hillside in the blue zone. Tarlans wiped out of the game. Norky is going to be flushed out as well. The battle between Tarlans, Team Elite, and Powerful up here towards the northeast did not end well for anyone.
Yeah, we did see one member of Airwaves actually got taken down by the play zone on a side note, as have Sudovic. So Airwaves, they're feeling the pressure of that blue tick zone in this phase of the game. As this next zone shift came through, as you said, it has gone down south, but it has pinched itself a bit more.
Yeah, not going to be too far off of where teams were going to be guessing it's going to be going. Powerful, though. Yeah. Out they go. A very early finish again, even earlier than their previous game. 10th place and now 14th place here in game number 4 off of the backs of 2 massive chicken dinners. The good thing they got those games to start off the day, Imperium, because those were much needed points for them on the leaderboard, and now much needed points to secure them still on top of the leaderboards with those bit of a flubs.
Yeah, exactly. It's still going to be a fantastic day for them. Even though I talk about how consistency is important, look, you know, sometimes the game isn't just going to go your way. That's why when you get that chicken dinner, when you get it hard and you get it with the amount of points that Powerful did, it makes up for it. But YMCA taking down Futbolist, who go down in this last game of the day in 13th place.
Dangerously nearby, though, to the likes of Elgiganten Gaming holding on to the edge of the blue zone. Shots coming out on the coastal region as Team Elite takes more casualties. Dead going to be dropped down and out by Mackin, who looks for more shots along this bridge region. Both teams will have to move. Team Elite a little less of a transition and in a gatekeeping position to hold the members of Airwaves at bay, as they are currently doing.
Yeah, Hawk has actually done well to pick up a couple of bandages and a couple of med kits for himself, as 3D Max just kind of going a trip down the mountain to try and survive without taking that much damage, and they've actually managed to do so. They're going to try and find out and spot out the likes of Istanbul Wildcats in the distance down that hill.
Good positioning. We'll be able to look down and spot out many rotations coming from teams just trying to fight for these essentially positions. Mr. Owada going to be dropped down from a distance. Istanbul Wildcats able to find a frag there. 3D Max engaging onto Airwaves, still keeping them at bay on this eastern side of things. This is Airwaves trying to make the rotation to find an entryway after being kept at bay by the members of Team Elite, but now finding even more resistance the further south they go.
To be honest, look, Mackin actually didn't have any real resources on his side for Airwaves in that game. So even though having a man up is definitely a good thing, it really wasn't a huge loss for Airwaves, because the important players are actually still left alive. The players that have resources, that have the med kits, that have the grenades are going to be able to do work later on in this game. And I've got to say, Airwaves had done so well to actually get so far in this game, considering the zonal shifts that they had to make.
Unfortunate push for 3D Max right down the open hill face of the Radio Tower Hill into the guns of MJ-Esports as well as YMCA Esports, who are both finding connections onto 3D Max. Solar goes down. Noki goes down. Solar going to be flushed out by a different squad. Istanbul Wildcats able to steal the kill away.
Still Wago and found them up, though. They found a lip of a hill. If they can just wait and prone and hide, then they could actually survive because they're in the circle. So all they need to do is just wait and allow the teams around them, which is Elgiganten and YMCA, to actually potentially take each other out. But this next circle is going to expose. And my God, the water is still included, but it has shifted up northwards.
Yeah, so even smaller of a phase than these teams are used to working at. Normally, you see the water shifted out at this stage in the game, but with the military island circles, well, it can be ever so tricky. SEEKORG holds on to the northwest. Sprinkled throughout, though, in a 2-2 split will be the members of ToxicPlayers. And the shifts have to come out from the players in the south across wide open distances. Elgiganten Gaming, YMCA, they're going to clash. 3D Max still looking in that direction after taking so many casualties on that Radio Tower Hill. And then Enviik sits as a potential spoiler for any of those teams that happen to get there.
Oh, wow. We do see Enviik talking about him, has been able to take down one member of Toxic Player with the knockdown, with the kill. That puts Toxic Players in a position of 3 players as well as Elite. They're looking for 4 Kings fighting over this circle just on the east side of this map. So great job by Elite so far in this game.
Pullbacks can be dropped down and out. Abdallah as well, as Team Elite gets caster cursed out of the game in 11th place position. 10 teams now remain, 31 players alive. Airwaves still able to stay alive, but not able to secure any type of positioning. Forced to retreat back into a very split strategy. Shots come out. Elgiganten Gaming going to be under siege here from the likes of YMCA. They caught the push out across the road. Wait for someone to move first and then capitalize on it as a barrage of grenades, 4 to be exact, come in from every member of MJ-Esports. There's no way in hell you survive that, and Elgiganten Gaming just learned that in epic fashion.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. There's absolutely nothing they could do. We are down to 9 teams. Military base finishes excite me so much, as this is what is happening between these teams. MJ-Esports have a great spot. They have great compound. They're still in circle, and they have teams that they're able to side around them and, of course, help get those squad wipes. But Istanbul Wildcats staying strong in this last game of the day.
YMCA now repositioning a little bit further to the north, able to find new lines of sight on new opponents. Shots coming out. Airwaves able to find the frag down on the Slippy Zerg. The trade, though, going to be coming back out soon as the blue damage starts to tick away drastically at Amoris's HP. Tries to get that nade out, tries to secure the kill before meeting his fate. But the blue zone does drop down Hawk, and he will be flushed out. Quickly thereafter, Airwaves goes down as Amoris gets tagged.
Yeah, it was actually great to secure that kill with that grenade. And I said every point counts, so great play by Airwaves, even though they did overall get eliminated. It was a tough game for them in the last game of the day. They were fighting the zone so many times, so to finish in 8th place, it's a great job by them. But 3D Max, they get eliminated in 7th place. We are down to 17th, but still 23 players alive, Esquire.
Pretty crazy. Above a 3-player per team average right now at the 22-minute mark of the 12th game of Stage 1, PEL Phase 3 Contenders Promotionals. MJ-Esports keeps 4 alive. Grandma's Shack compound going to be held down. They've also got the Harry Potter held down to their own as well. Just have to worry about a few solo players working their way in off that eastern edge.
Well, they've got ToxicPlayers and Enviik to the west side, and they are fighting each other out, but they do have to move in the circle. They do have to go across that road, and that is something that they are going to fear, because SEEKORG, who have the northwest side of this circle all to themselves, are just going to be able to spot those out.
Push coming down the hill. Enviik starting to advance their own position. They found themselves outside of phase number 6, and they've got to work their way in. But as you can see, not much lies in the way of cover for them to work off of. Istanbul Wildcats will be spotted. The solo player 11 gets dropped down and out. 6 teams now remaining. As MJ-Esports looks to hold off another team, they were able to wipe out the likes of Elgiganten, but facing off against a much stronger in terms of numbers YMCA squad pushing forward. Can they defend this compound once again?
Well, YMCA have done well so far. They're already on 7 kills, but we see the knockdown come down from MJ-Esports onto Kajadi on YMC. How can they respond? They're going to get the frag down. This is down to 2v3.
Juno has to do something here. Is able to spot out one of the members of YMCA, and that's not going to be it. It's all she wrote for YMCA as they drop out of the game in 6th place position. 5 teams now remaining as Toxic tries to use this commotion as their own opportunity to not just pick up a crate, but also move into the circle. The crate providing a little bit of cover from these frag grenades being thrown in off of SEEKORG's position. 4 Kings still alive as well. Phosphord holding on to the southeastern side of the circle, looking MJ-Esports around their direction.
And he's going to be able to communicate that information to the rest of the team, but he does get knocked down by Juno. Great job by MJ-Esports. They have to try and push in. They have to try and go against 4 Kings outside the circle, try and move in. He is down to 43 health. Going to use that first aid kit. Going to use his protection to get himself up on the health. So yeah, MJ-Esports, they got the better of 4 Kings, and now, sorry, not 4 Kings and YMCA. Now they're going to look to do the same against 4 Kings.
MJ-Esports having a hell of a game right now, picking up kill after kill after kill, but Enviik is now starting to at least show their hand in this game. ToxicPlayers get wiped down and out as Robin's able to find that frag working with SEEKORG. 4 teams now remaining. Enviik on their back foot with Faye and Rip both bleeding out. Robin now left just as a solo player, trying to hold off the push coming out from SEEKORG. Spray comes out, not able to find the mark as more nades come in. Secure onto one of the members of Enviik. Rip bleeding out very fast at this stage in the game. It's just going to be a solo player effort. Not enough. Robin spotted and sprayed down with the M416. Out they go in 4th place. Top 3 secured here as we reach into the final few moments of this game.
And what's most important for SEEKORG is that they are going to be able to revive that 3rd member of their team to keep that kind of numbers advantage up for them. 3 teams, 9 players alive. That is 3 players each, so there's no full-on advantage for these teams. SEEKORG do look to be in a strong position. They're on their own, whereas when you look at MJ-Esports and 4Kings, they are so close to each other. So can SEEKORG just look to pick off the kills as 4Kings and MJ take each other out?
It's going to come down to positioning here, and 4Kings certainly in a spot where they can combat the likes of the 4Kings. And if so, if that engagement pops off, it opens up a massive window of opportunity for the likes of SEEKORG to push into position and choke off the rest of phase number 7. But as it stands, no one has made the move just yet. Slowly crouch walking over towards the horizon, over towards the other side of the hill to hopefully spot the head of their opponent.
As I said, I'm not a huge fan of snakes in the classic games of PUBG, but when you gotta do it, you gotta do it. But he peeks himself up. He's looking for his shots on the 4Kings. He didn't get the knockdown, and he pays the price as Manny gets that knockdown onto Juno.
Those entry shots also important. Gave away his position, and Juno drops down and out. 2 remaining members for MJ-Esports, but now they also know where the 4Kings lie. Looking that direction will be many. Unfortunately, no nades on their hands. Higgy, 4Kings, going to be split off now in between 2 squads, combating the likes of both MJ-Esports and SEEKORG. Finding 1 frag onto both. Higgy now going to be traded out. A 3-way engagement between these teams, as it currently could be, I believe, a 2v2v2 with the players bleeding out.
I believe it is indeed. It's so close. Mini gets not knocked down, put down to 14th health. Stratos in the distance, quite beside her, is prone down, trying to find the right spot, trying to wait. They are outside the circle. SEEKORG are in the circle, so they can just push forward. They can make their way through. Mini does get knocked down inside the phosphorus. 4Kings going strong with 4 kills for now.
3 teams still remaining, though. 7 players alive, 1 left for MJ-Esports. Just going to be Stratus in the prone position, waiting for one of the 4Kings to come over the hill, but it's not going to be enough. The spray comes out. Manny able to find the remaining frag onto Stratus. Now 2 teams left. It's going to be a proper 2v3 scenario between SEEKORG and 4Kings as they start to prep for this engagement. Meds will be rolling. Boost will be rolling. Everything they need to get this going.
Yes, it is going to come down so close to these 2 teams.
Did your feed just stop too, Imperium?
Yeah, my feed did stop. I was kind of, okay, it's back
we're
up.
back.
It's back up.
And there it is. Kills come out. It's going to be trades. I believe we went back a little bit in time. But yeah, the feed definitely cut out for me too. Hopefully we are back. This is a few second replay.
Yeah, I'm back myself. SEEKORG has taken the win. They took the winner chicken dinner.
Oh, hold on. We're watching it.
Oh, sorry.
There it is. There's the chicken dinner. SEEKORG coming up big here. They hadn't had a win since day number 1, I believe. No, well, they hadn't even really shown up in the top 3 since day number 1, where they had 3 presences in 3 of those games. But now they come up huge with the chicken dinner to round out the day. Pretty crazy game, Imperium. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, sorry about towards the end. It seems like my feed just kind of came back a little bit earlier than yours, and the time frame had skipped it between our 2 screens. But yeah, great job by SEEKORG. They need that good performance. Remember when I talked about them dropping down to 9th place? That win is going to put them on top in terms of from a points point of view. But I do suspect that because of the military-based finish, the kills have been actually spread out quite heavily between a lot of these teams. For example, YMCA, I believe they had secured 8 kills before they went out. 4Kings had secured, I believe, about 6 or 7 kills. Even lower teams like Elite, I believe they had secured 3 or 4 kills. So, as I said, I think they have been spread out quite heavily between these teams.
Yep, certainly have big nades coming in right there for the likes of MJ-Esports. as we continue to watch some of these replays from throughout the day. But that's going to leave us with 3 days in the books, Imperium. One more game of gameplay, or one more day rather of gameplay, where 4 matches will be played out. These teams hopefully trying to put it all on the line to find themselves in the top 8 positions. And then that's kind of the thing. Sure, being top 8 in stage 1 is great, but then you got to go on to stage 2, where in theory the competition increases.
Yeah, it does indeed. We'll be able to see the point standings from this last game of the day will be showing up, as we will get an idea of how these teams have finished for this day.
Final moments here of game number 4. There it is. Points coming up here for this game. Futbolist and Elgiganten will be exiting out of round number 4 with 0 points each. Not a lot of points picked up by Tarlans, Powerful, or CRIPS E-Sports, which kind of opened things up for the top of the leaderboard going into the 4th and final day here tomorrow. But Imperium, as we do you have the scores up for this round?
Yeah, I do. I was ahead of it. That's kind of why
Gotcha.
I didn't want to talk about it too much. I think we're around equal now. Apologies, guys. Sometimes it can just have that technical hitch. Yeah, I'm looking at the top 8 now.
Yeah,
as
so
I said, yeah. So like SEEKORG 6 kills, 4 Kings 8 kills, MJ-Esports 8 kills, YMCA 9 kills. That's what I'm talking about. Very spread out between these top 5 teams.
Certainly it is. SEEKORG having a good game. Even with that chicken dinner, though, the 4 Kings and MJ-Esports able to pick up a grip of kills each.
Yeah.
Have been able to sort of even out that point total. And that's one of the cool things about this new point system that we've been using in this year of PUBG competitive esports. Top kills from this game. No one able to beat that 7 kill count set earlier today by Powerful. It's going to be Phosphorus in first out of match number 4 with 5 kills rather for the 4 Kings.
You can maybe call them 5 Kings now because of that kill amount. But yeah, great job overall. But as I said, that spread out of the kill feed does make a difference as we do move on to the damage leaders of that last game. Manny, 4 Kings, as well as Phosphor, dominating the top 2 with 784 and 690 respectively.
Very good damage being put up. A lot higher damage distribution than we saw in the previous game, which just goes to show how powerful of a performance some of these teams had, specifically 4 Kings, SEEKORG, YMCA, and MJ-Esports. But again, one more day to play out. You can't cut anything short just yet. No matter where you are in the leaderboards, complacency will hurt you, and there is definitely going to be a big fight between those 8th place positions. SEEKORG, let's stack them up against the 4 Kings from this match. First place for SEEKORG, but look at the stats for the 4 Kings, Imperium.
Yeah, 1,913 damage as a team, 8 kills, of course, second place. Like SEEKORG, we didn't really talk about them that much because they come into the military base from the west side relatively uncontested because they came in early and they didn't really face off against too many people, but it paid off for them in the end, of course, getting that first place. But this is the head-to-head stats between Barlos and Phosphor. 3 kills for Barlos, 5 for Phosphor, but that damage difference is the all-important number. 690 for Phosphor, 357 for Barlos.
Certainly is. Big damage on behalf of the 4 Kings. Remember, guys, at the end of tomorrow, 4 more games to be played out here. The top 8, the left-hand side of the leaderboard, will be moving on to stage number 2. The right-hand side of the leaderboard, well, they're going to be going back to the drawing board, trying to work their way into next year's PUBG European Esports competition. But as it stands right now, still going to be very open. A few teams going to be happily sitting at the top of the leaderboards. But as far as, I don't know, Imperium, what do you want to call the cutoff? Maybe 3rd through 14th? It's anyone's game.
It is. Even second place, in my opinion, is anybody's game. The only team that has really secured their spot in my eyes is Powerful. That's it. And that was through the 2 25-point games. But that was such a fantastic day of action. Those zones, man, that made me happy.
What a fun day. What a tough day for the players. So congratulations to all 60 of you who showed up today to try to frag out. That's going to be it for the broadcast here for day number 3 of the PUBG Europe League Contenders Phase 3 Promotionals. My name's Esquire, joined here, of course, by Imperium. On behalf of us both, thank you so much for being here and watching the games today. And make sure to come back tomorrow, same time, same place, to find out what 8 teams are moving into stage number 2.